Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Welcome, everybody, to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, and I'm sharing with you today how we're going to talk about igniting humanity. I'm Lady JB Owen, and I'm thrilled to be talking about the things that each and every one of us can do to ignite humanity. And we're super thrilled to have an amazing guest today who's talking about our theme of the day, solutions. That's right. Thursdays is all about solutions, and so we're bringing you a fantastic guest. Now, what do we talk about when it comes to igniting humanity? Well, it's things that you can do, that I can do, that each and every one of us can do in our lives to create that ripple effect, that touch point, that ability for people to feel inspired so that they can ignite their lives also. And what we love to do is wrap that around what we call an ignite moment, that powerful experience that you've had that has sort of awaken you to do something wonderful. And with solutions as the theme, well, we're talking to somebody who has really created some solutions. So let's get to it. Let me introduce my guest. After 42 years as a traditional teacher, Melanie Summers transitioned her focus to homeschooling right as millions of families across America were shifting to at-home learning, and we're in need of support due to the pandemic. Now, as a homeschooling coach and consultant, it is Melanie's passion to provide tools and resources for parents so they feel empowered to educate their children at home. And we're excited to share that today is the launch of Melanie's new book, Learning Outside the Line, which is a beacon for parents venturing into the world of homeschooling. It offers insightful guidance and a roadmap for success. This invaluable resource provides an actionable advice, tools, and those resources you need to empower parents to succeed in their homeschooling journey. We are so excited to have her here. This book is going to revolutionize homeschooling. Please welcome her to the show, Miss Melanie Summers. Welcome, welcome, Madame Homeschooling Coach.
Hi there. Hi there. So glad to be here. And thanks for that great introduction. That was really nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Because we're riding pretty high here at Ignite Publishing. We are so honored to publish solo books by amazing individuals with the theme of empowering humanity and making that difference. And Melanie is a seasoned Ignite author, but this is her first solo book, and we are just honored to talk about it. Let's back up a little bit before we go into the book. Talk a little bit about how homeschooling and parents homeschooling their kids, how's that igniting humanity?
Well, it's because they are needing me to help them, give them creative ideas so that their school does not become a ho-hum place or a place where kids would rather be back in traditional schools. And once they learn all of these little solutions and tips and things that I can give them, they will absolutely ignite their children. And by igniting their children, they are igniting humanity. After all, our great Les Brown says that children are 40% of the population, but 100% of our futures. And I go one step farther to say they are 100% of their own future and their children's children. So that means it goes into perpetuity.
It's such a good point, because I often say that we need to educate our kids so that they can solve the problems we have created. And it's so important to teach them and teach them in a really powerful and supportive environment. I'm a huge proponent of what you're doing, because I did go through the journey of homeschooling my children and world schooling my children and putting my kids in private school and public school and Catholic school. So I kind of tried the whole gamut of ways to really allow my children to learn. Let's talk about that first, because how your child learns and what is important to their learning style is really the essence of your book.
Yes, it is. Learning styles is something that I discovered in the mid-1980s. And learning styles is something that everybody has. And it was kind of like put into 8 different types of styles, but everyone has all 8, but some are more prevalent than others. And it's how they think. That's why you have some people who are athletes and some people who are JB Owen and is a great publisher and writer herself. That's why some people, are solving NASA's complex ideas that they do. And some people are just happy to be alive and they are friends with everyone. That's because they are different learning styles. And once you learn how your child learns, you've got the secret sauce to unlock their world.
It's really important because I always felt like as a creative and someone who was really visual, and I always needed to draw it out, and I love my art class. I couldn't understand mathematics. I would sit in class and how does m and 2 and a square plus a y underneath a line equal a fraction? Like it was so difficult for me, but take me into a theater or an art class or drama or debate, and I just loved it. So it's fascinating that now more than ever, we're realizing that kids have these unique styles. But as a homeschooling parent, how you learned or how you teach might be very different than how your child learns.
Well, that is true. So if you know what your interests are, but then you know what your child's interests are, or how they learn, then you have the opportunity to infuse them together. What is that called in culinary school? It's called fusion, fusion culinary. Well, you are now going to be able to have fusion education where you bring your strengths and your child's strengths together. And it is such a wonderful thing to watch because, think of me as a teacher. I had strong learning styles toward mathematical and logical thinking, but I also had a little bit of that creative literary flair also. But I didn't have a lot of the other things. So I had to learn to fuse my strengths with the strengths of every child in my classroom. So it was a fun thing to do, and it can be done, and it's a joy to watch. Especially when kids who weren't understanding something one minute are now like, oh, I got it. And
Mm.
it's, yeah, that's what's always kept me, going when I was in the classroom, is watching that spark in the eyes of a child when their eyes go, oh, I got it.
And over 40 years, you were a teacher in the classroom. So this is really something that you've adopted that helped you teach so many students. I'd love to talk a little bit about how powerful it is when we inspire the young people in our lives, or even anyone, just through knowing how they learn, knowing what they gravitate towards, and how they, as you said, just, oh, okay, I got it, I understand it, how that's going to help them in their future and in their future endeavors. Share a little bit about that, because I'm sure you've seen lots of kids in your 40 years that have gone on to be successful and do things that were completely in alignment with what worked for them. And again, how's that igniting humanity?
Well, I go back to someone who actually gave me an endorsement in my book, who was in my class when she was in third grade. She hated school. She had liked coming to school, but then she had me as a teacher, and I ignited her enthusiasm. And she's like, I was doing math 3 and 4 years over third grade work and didn't even know it. She's gone on to be a nurse. Now, how does that ignite humanity? Look what
Mhm.
she's doing every single day. She is going in and giving her heart to other people in the medical field. Well, medical fields directly relate to mathematics and logical thinking, right? So when I ignited her, she now went on to be someone who is now igniting other people in her field.
Well, I want to congratulate you because this beautiful, fantastic 404-page book, folks, Melanie really poured her heart into it. You actually go through each one of the learning styles and you really extrapolate and expand upon what the strengths and even weaknesses, what the likes and dislikes of those learning styles. Talk a little bit about how in depth you went into in the book.
Well, I think I just absolutely poured in every single one of these learning styles. There are 8 of them, and each one of them has their own chapter. Not only do I tell you the bullet points of these are the little idiosyncrasies and quirks of this kind of learner, I then go on to give you strategies on how to take those quirks and bring them into your lessons, and strategize everything you do. And then I go on to give you sample lesson plans on how to go about teaching that particular kind of learner at the elementary age, at the middle school age, and even the high school age. Everything is something that builds upon another. So what you do as a child with your children when they're young, you can continue to do that and broaden their scope and sequence of what they're doing as they mature.
Yeah, folks, I don't want you to miss this piece. Melanie has gone in the book and put in lesson strategies, resources, suggestions, ideas, book suggestions, exercises, objectives, things for you to do in all three of the different learning age groups, elementary, middle school, and high school. And she's taken them for each one of the learning styles. So if you're a homeschooling parent, this book is absolutely fascinating because you may not just have one child, you may have multiple children who have different learning styles. And so flipping through the book, okay, this style for this child who's in elementary school, this style for this child who's in middle school. I mean, it is really a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant book with a ton of resources, a ton of tips and strategies, so much support, and then pages and pages and pages at the back full of resources. Let's take a moment to show people what it looks like. Here's a copy of Learning Outside the Line, a beautiful book launching today. So folks, why we're telling you this is we want you to go on over to Amazon and check out this book launching today. It's free for download. Melanie has made it free for download on purpose because she wants everybody to have access to it. There's no excuse. You can't say, well, I don't have an Amazon account, or I can't afford it, or I don't want to pay for the shipping. You can go and download it for free today and take a look at it and see all the many different things that are inside this book, and then decide to buy it and have your own hard copy, the ones you can flip through and fold the pages and put the bookmarks in. But we'd love for you to head on over to Amazon, wherever you are in the world, Amazon.com, Amazon UK, Amazon CA. Go check out Melanie's book and get it for free download. It's really, really special. I'm super proud of it. My kids I only have one left in school. But what I do notice about it is even when I'm hanging out with my friends' kids, or I see kids in the airport, or I notice kids, that I see in other situations, you can really see the ones that love to sit and study, or the ones that are very outgoing and love to be moving, or the ones that are really enthralled with, color or movements. Like, you can see a child very quickly what they gravitate towards. And I think supporting them in that is so, so, so important. And that will ignite humanity. Those kids will grow up to do more of what they love. And we all know when we do what we love, we're better at it.
Yeah, it's true. That's 100% true.
Absolutely. So how was writing this book? I mean, 404 pages, you really poured your heart into it. There might be somebody out there who's an aspiring writer. What would you say to them?
I would say you have it. If you want to be an aspiring writer, then do it. Get on that beautiful merry-go-round of writing and keep reaching for that brass ring that's there, because that's the prize, because that's the ultimate, right? So if you want to write, do it. If you want to really write and just kind of like maybe sprinkle yourself in, you don't want a whole book at once, then contact Lady JB, because she has a wonderful program where she does anthologies. I've already written in 2 of her anthologies, and it wasn't just the whole book at once. It was just, a sampling of what you can do. And I'm telling you, this Lady JB Owen, she has a rare gift. She shares it, and she will bring your ideas and inspirations into the world, and then you can ignite other people with your stories.
Thank you so much for saying that. I truly appreciate it. Let me ask you this. As a teacher for 40 years, working with kids, did you have an ignite moment in your life that sparked this idea for you to write this book? I know you talk a little bit about how the pandemic was a big awakening. Share a little bit about that.
I had retired in 2017. And I sat around and I gained a lot of weight. And then I became a health and wellness coach so I could get rid of it. But I was sitting around in the early stages of the pandemic when everyone was quarantined and kids were quarantined, and the schools were trying to get things together and trying to figure out how to educate the masses of children at home, because nobody could get out, right? So I was sitting there one day and my phone rang, and it was one of my former students. And she said, I'm having so much trouble in math. Can you help me? You
He's
are the
not
only
talking about the book.
person, he's the only person that ever got me to be able to understand it. So I said, well, screenshot what you're doing and send it to me. And she did. And
Mm.
yeah, and I looked at it and I said, you know, we did this in sixth grade. And she goes, we did not. Yeah, we did. I said, do you remember when I said one apple plus one orange plus three apples squared plus two oranges squared plus another apple? Do you remember doing that? And she said, yes. I said, look at your problem. She went, oh, thank you so much. And she, because it was, she just had to put the X's and the Y's together and group them where they were supposed to, so she could reduce the problem into the final answer. And so she was like, you know what? I'm not having much trouble, a little bit maybe in chemistry, but my brother's having trouble. Can you help him? And I said, sure, what's going on here? So we continued that conversation, but it wasn't long after that my phone started ringing off the hook, because guess who started calling her friends and saying, if you need help, call Mrs. Summers.
And what you noticed in all of that was that, and this was, so many kids were home and homeschooling during the pandemic, that a lot of parents were struggling with how to teach and how to educate. Can you share for the parents who may be considering homeschooling or maybe wanting to help more with homework? Today's all about solutions. Do you have some solutions that maybe that they could implement?
Well, first of all, buy my book.
Ding, ding, ding. Yep.
Yeah, because it's got all kinds of solutions in it. And if you don't want to buy it, go ahead and get the free download. It's my gift to you. But as far as tips are concerned, if you're wanting to homeschool and you've got that little, I don't know about this, guess who was their child? Who was your first child's teacher? Who taught your child to hold a spoon? Who taught your child how to tie their shoe? Who taught their child how to walk? All of these different things. Your child learned those from you. You were a teacher before you were a parent. You were a teacher because you were the one that taught them all of these different things. So you are a parent and you are a teacher. You're still teaching your children different things. If you're going, I'm kind of old fashioned. And the other day I was going into a store and a young man was coming in at the same time. And he said, excuse me, miss. And he opened the door for me. Well, who taught him to do that? Those kinds of things you're still teaching your children. And if you passed school, if you passed and graduated from school, or if you were homeschooled and you're successful now, you've got it in you to be able to teach your children, because it's just like, I keep going back to math, but let's be real, 2 + 2 is always going to be 2 + 2. And you've got that in your head, how to write a sentence. Everyone knows to begin a sentence with a capital letter and end with a punctuation mark. And if you want to write, then there's, JB Owen can show you how to take that sentence and make it just sizzle.
What I love, you made me think a lot about even my own kids. I remember my son when he was in I think it was grade 4, I wanted to move him into a better school. And so I did some research and went to a preparatory school and met with the faculty, and they talked all about the great things at the school and all the offerings at the school and how great it was going to be, that he would be all prepped for his college courses. And I was impressed by the school and impressed by what they were offering. But when my son went there, it wasn't a fit for him. He wanted to play hockey. He wanted to play basketball. He wanted to be outside. He wanted to be in nature. He wanted to be doing wrestling. He didn't want to sit and study and do so much academia, which was really what the prep school was about. It was really for kids who were super academic. And I wasn't listening to him. I wasn't observing him. I wasn't watching him. I wasn't thinking about what was best for his education. And, lo and behold, the school very quickly complained. He doesn't sit down. He doesn't stay in his desk. He doesn't want to just do one thing. He wants to be outside. He always wants to be moving. He's always walking around. He's always doing stuff. And it was fascinating to me now, years later, when I look back, how we sometimes don't observe or watch who our children are to know the best way to learn. And that's what I love about what you're teaching, is you're really asking parents to recognize the gifts and talents of their kids. And these 8 learning styles, no one is better than the other. There's no better one. They're all just so unique. Talk a little bit about that again, because I really want to hammer that home for folks. As a mom who has 2 of my own kids and 2 stepkids, they're all very different learners, and they need to be coached and trained and educated in unique ways.
Well, you just said something to me that just made me chuckle, because you just said about your son. Because right there, that tells me right away, he doesn't even have to take the innovative homeschool questionnaire. He doesn't even have to do that. Your child is a physicalist child, and he is someone, if you're homeschooling and have that kind of child, you don't want to put that child beside a mathematical logical learner. I'm telling you, because seriously, your home will have to become the school. And if you've got a physical learner, they need to get up and move. They can do what you want them to learn, but they can't do that sitting there as a stationary little statue. On the other hand, your magical mathematician, he's the one that's going to have his own little corner, and he's going to have all his little toys there with him, so that he can, when a problem says to do, something is 2.5 inches and you need 3.5 inches of that, he's going to have to pick up the ruler and look at that and go 2.5, and then I add 3.5 to get the answer. He has to be able to look at those manipulatives, and once he gets the idea of what's happening, then he can see it in his head. He becomes a visual learner, a visual. So all of those different things go together. If you've got a child who is a very creative person and loves music, he's going to sit there and he's going to tap things out with his pencil while he's sitting there. And so if you've got somebody who is a person who is very into themselves, and the original was interpersonal, but that's a person who is very quiet. He's introverted, and if he's sitting there trying to read, and you've got someone who's sitting there tapping their pencil, that's not going to work. So you have to recognize these different things, and I've got that in the book. These are the things, these are the quirks of these people. And here's how to strategize, how to teach that child. And I even go into saying, you can put these 2 together because they share similar things in them.
It's really, it's so genius. It's really wonderful what you've done. Folks, even if you're not homeschooling full time, just having kids at home, teaching them, doing lessons, helping them with their homework, and just giving them a broader, better perspective of how to learn, because they go into school and they have to learn a certain way that's structured. Having this book is just going to help you and assist you and support you. I want to congratulate you again, Melanie. We're going to show folks the book. Melanie wants everybody to have a copy of it. So please go to Amazon and download a free digital copy. All of the tools, all of the resources, and all of the learning styles are in the digital copy. You can take a look at it and then decide if you want a copy yourself. But for the next couple of days, Melanie's made the book free to everyone because, well, at the heart and the spirit of her is we're going to ignite humanity through our children. And if we can educate our children and help them learn in a powerful way, then they will go out and educate others similar. Well done, and super proud of you. I know it's exciting and it's a big day. You've got lots of plans today, tomorrow, Saturday, big launch day. And this is a big accomplishment for you to be creating such a large, beautiful, wonderful book. And I want to again remind parents, if you are looking to homeschool or you just want to support your children in a new and unique way, Melanie truly has it. Here's a little bit of information. Go on over to Melanie's website if you want to know more about what she's doing. Melanie, tell some folks what they'll find over at your website that's going to help them with the homeschooling endeavor.
Well, right now there is a a PDF there that you can download for free, and it is the Innovative Homeschool Solutions questionnaire that it's a PDF. You can download it. It's also in the book, but the book is only 6x9. This is downloadable, and it's a full paper, and you can sit there and read it and do the little things. And it's not hard to do. You just rate things from 1 to 5. That's all you do is say a question like, I love Rubik's cubes. If you were one of those people that you go somewhere and there's a Rubik's cube there, you're going to pick it up and do it, then that's a 5, right? If you're like, I hate those things, I never want them, they give me nightmares, then you rate it a 1. But once you do this and you take the questions that are there and the numbers are there for you, you could just say, okay, you're going to add this one, and this one, and put it here. And the one that has the biggest number, that's the kind of learner your child is.
And you always recommend parents to take the test also, because you want to learn what kind of parent you are. There's also a chapter in the book to talk about the kind of learner parent you are to help with your teaching styles. Well, congratulations again, folks. Go ahead and get a copy. We'll put the ticker tape on the bottom. If you'd like to get a copy of Melanie's book, Learning Outside the Line, you can jet on over to Amazon. Congratulations, Melanie. Have a fantastic day. Go out and ignite those students and do what you do and just celebrate your launch day. Thanks so much for being here on such an auspicious occasion.
I appreciate that, and I hope I gave some solutions to your solution day.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we encourage you to check out Melanie's book on Amazon. It truly is a magnificent book that is helping parents support their children in their learning style, and just some fun and wonderful tips on how home can be a much more wonderful place for kids to learn. If you'd like to know everything that we're doing at Ignite Publishing, well, head on over to our website. We love to talk to you about helping you publish your book and helping you become a published author. You can go to our website at igniteyou.life, where we publish books. And as Melanie said, we also help publish your own personal story and Ignite moments. So we'd love to help you with doing that. If you would like to know what we're doing more to ignite humanity, well, we're building schools overseas, and we love doing that. So head on over to ignitehumanity.life and see how you can help donate. $1 goes towards buying one of our recycled bricks for one of our beautiful schools in different locations around the globe. And we love to ignite humanity by educating kids. We also are doing other compilations book, including the new massive Ignite Humanity book. So we're looking for authors to be a part of that and share their Ignite moment. And then there's some just fun stuff on how you can participate and really dial into how igniting humanity can be a part of your everyday efforts. All right, well, we love having you here. We're here Monday to Friday, every day at this time, 11 a.m. Mountain. That's 1 o'clock Eastern, and we talk about ways to ignite humanity. If you would like to be on the show and share what you're up to, we'll fill out our type form. We are always looking for people around the globe to talk about how they are igniting humanity and the little things that they are doing to create that big ripple effect. So please fill out our type form. Let us know what you're up to, or fill it out for a friend, and so we can connect with them and talk about how they are igniting humanity. All right, blessings, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.